3 years ago, Alucard stormed a desert temple, killing anyone who tried to stop him. Inside, he faced two fierce women who attacked him. After a brief struggle, he defeated them but found only an empty coffin. Disappointed, he returned to Belmont, Annette, and Maria, who were grieving Maria's mother. Annette urged them to strike their enemy while she was vulnerable, but Alucard revealed disturbing news. Bathory had absorbed the powers of the Egyptian goddess Sekhmet. He had found Sekhmet's tomb and learned her blood was stored for Bathory. Egyptian deities, he explained, have two souls, one in their blood and one in their heart. Sekhmet's mummy, holding her second soul, was in Paris. Meanwhile, Bathory mourned her servant Drolta and vowed vengeance on Alucard. She sent Tara to summon the abbot, who was burying fallen soldiers. Tara, weak with hunger, fed on a drunkard after Orlox appeared and urged her to eat. Belmont and Annette debated joining Alucard while Maria struggled with her mother's fate as a vampire. Later, Bathory forced the abbot to use his machine to revive Drolta, even though she was undead. Belmont and Annette finally decided to help Alucard, leaving Maria under Mizrak's care. In 1199 CE, Sekhmet's high priestess vowed to protect her people and the goddess's mummy. One night, tomb raiders attacked, and the priestess awoke to find a vampire feasting on her daughter. Barely surviving, she killed the creature and, in desperation, drank its blood, transforming into a vampire herself. Centuries later, Alucard revealed that Sekhmet's corpse had been stolen by bandits, likely sold to buyers unaware of its true nature. While tracking it, the group stumbled upon Giusti's burning hut. Belmont found Giust by the river, unharmed, and Giust greeted them with questions about the eclipse caused by Bathory. He jokingly asked what it would take to kill her. Meanwhile, Bathory celebrated Drolta's new body, which was immune to sunlight, but her hatred for Alucard remained. Unknown to him, one of her spies watched his every move. Giust wanted to join the mission, but Belmont urged him to protect Maria instead. Maria, now shunned by her community, returned to her old home for supplies and encountered her mother Tara. Tara tried to embrace her, but Mizrak intervened, forcing Tara to flee. As Alucard led them to the river, Bathory prepared her army. Drolta, relishing her power, slaughtered revolutionaries, while Mizrak, desperate to intervene, was held back by Olrox. The priestess of Sekhmet searched desperately for a worthy vessel for the goddess, but everyone who drank the blood burned to ash. Olrox tried to console Mizrak, insisting he couldn't have saved the army, but Mizrak's anger simmered. Meanwhile, at Maria's home, she played with a toy as Tara watched over her. That night, Tara and Maria witnessed creatures of hell carting the bodies of National Guards to the abbey. There, the abbot used a machine to transform the dead. The leader of the revolutionary army was the first to change. Annette, haunted by dreams of her past, woke to find humans tied to trees. Alucard wanted to move on, but she and Richter insisted on saving them. They killed the captors, leaving no one alive to report back to Bathory. However, Richter admitted one escaped the day before, angering Alucard until Annette calmed him. Elsewhere, a spy reported Alucard's location to Bathory, only to be burned and marked by Drolta. Olrox appeared, mocking her massacre, and was marked as well. At Maria's, she summoned an arc-wolf, but lost control when Giust attacked. Tara stopped him, but Maria vanished, flying toward the abbey. Desperate, Tara begged Giust to save her. Richter, Alucard and Annette was watching the beheading of a king by rebellions, when Annette starts having the same dream. As the king got beheaded, she saw the soul of king being dragged by three-faced monster from Annette's dream. In 1614 CE, Drolta visited Bathory, who had been condemned to wither and die alone. Drolta offered her a way out, become the vessel of Sekhmet. Elsewhere, Annette narrowly escaped the three-faced demon, though its presence haunted her. As they left the crowd, Alucard explained how British monarchies used beheading centuries ago and revealed the vampire messiah's plan to lead a counter-revolution with their support. They ventured into a building housing Sekhmet's mummy. Meanwhile, Maria reached the abbey, consumed by her mission to kill the abbot, her father. She accused him of turning her mother into a vampire and betraying the revolutionaries. Fueled by hatred, Maria defeated the hell beasts guarding him and summoned a giant dragon. Just tried to stop her, but the dragon burned the abbot to ashes. Moments later, the devil came to claim the abbot's scorched remains. As Maria calmed, the dragon turned on her. Giust, using his enchanted ring, forced the dragon back into the abyss, saving her. Maria collapsed as Tara arrived, smirking at her husband's death. Later, Giust warned Maria against using monsters again, fearing their corruption. Meanwhile, Olrox informed Mizrak of Bathory's plans, but his behavior disgusted Mizrak. Alucard and Annette found Sekhmet's mummy, but were ambushed by Drolta and her night creatures. Though they fought fiercely, Drolta escaped with the mummy, leaving Alucard seething. Meanwhile, Annette's worsening headaches baffled Belmont. For 175 years, Bathory grew stronger, drinking Sekhmet's blood supplied by Drolta. Each drop amplified her power. Annette ignored the visions of the three-faced man, focusing on the present. Meanwhile, Alucard emerged from the water, furious at Richter for failing to inform him about enemy spies. Together, they decided to warn the national authorities of the horrors to come. Alucard ordered them to find and destroy the vampire nests within the city, while he sought an audience with the leaders. That night, Annette and Richter began their ruthless hunt, leaving a trail of destruction behind. At the Abbey, Olrox discovered a forbidden box and burned it in a machine. As a black shadow loomed behind him, he chose to ignore it, just confronted Maria about her dangerous source of power. When Terra arrived, she begged Maria to avoid the darkness, warning it would corrupt her. Maria, defiant, decided to embrace vampirism like her mother. Just tried to stop her, angering Terra, who summoned a beast but calmed before it attacked. Terra left in tears, confessing her love for Maria, who chased her mother but fell, sobbing and begging her not to leave. Elsewhere, the opera demon mourned its master's death with a haunting song. Annette and Richter found a vampire nest in the tunnels and destroyed it entirely. Maria, determined to fight in the ongoing war, ignored warnings. Olrox visited Mizrak, announcing his decision to leave Bathory. He invited Mizrak to join him, but Mizrak refused. Olrox vanished into the air. Alucard killed Bathory's minions, who attacked the authorities, presenting their severed heads as proof of his skill and a warning of the danger ahead. As Bathory addressed the public, Drolta arrived, presenting Sekhmet's corpse to her. Meanwhile, Annette saw visions of her ancestors urging her to enter the soul world and find Sekhmet's spirit. Just trains Maria, who recalls her childhood watching Richter practice with a whip as Terra stood in the background. Letting go of her hatred, Maria summons a beast from the abyss and tames it effortlessly. Meanwhile, the authorities prepare for battle as Annette and Richter arrive, sharing her plan to find Sekhmet's soul. The pair find a quiet spot where Annette sketches symbols and begins focusing. Though nervous, Richter encourages her to trust the plan. Her soul drifts to another realm, where her ancestors guide her to the ancestral land. There, Annette meets her mother, who urges her to find Ogun, the key to Sekhmet's soul. Back in the physical world, Richter and Alucard discuss life's philosophies until Alucard notices Richter has fallen asleep. In the other realm, Annette meets Ogun forging a shield. He shares wisdom about her lineage, blesses her, and gives her Sekhmet's soul's location. Richter awakens to see Annette floating midair as Alucard teases him about her feelings. Meanwhile, Bathory devours Sekhmet's heart. Annette crosses a river and is attacked by a divine beast but transforms Ogun's shield into a machete, defeating it. Reaching Sekhmet's temple, Annette warns her of Bathory. Empowered by Ogun's blessings, Sekhmet prepares for war. Sekhmet tells Alucard and Richter that restoring cosmic balance requires all three fragments of her soul to be reunited. In the chaos of the streets, soldiers battle monsters and vampires, while Annette struggles against a divine beast. Bathory's chariot charges the soldiers, but on Alucard's command, the French forces and revolutionaries, many turned into monsters themselves, fight back. Alucard lures vampires into the alleys, eliminating them, while the hellish creatures turn on each other. Richter and Annette confront the mutated Bathory, who devours fallen soldiers. Sekhmet attempts to reclaim her soul, but Bathory resists. Maria arrives with Juste and Mizark, summoning divine beasts to aid the battle. Together, they press Bathory, but she heals and unleashes her fury. Annette, drained, collapses but rises with Richter's help. The fight intensifies as Drolta duels Alucard. Olrox arrives to aid him, but Mizark is stabbed, forcing Olrox to retreat with his injured friend. In a desperate assault, Maria, Richter, and Sekhmet cripple Bathory, severing her arm. Bathory staggers toward Annette, but collapses from exhaustion. As Sekhmet approaches to extract her soul, Drolta betrays Bathory, absorbing Sekhmet's power and leaving Bathory's lifeless body behind. The battle is far from over. Sekhmet, now fused with Drolta, becomes a terrifyingly powerful force. Alucard and Richter join forces to battle her, while Annette remains trapped in the spirit realm, struggling to return. As the fight intensifies, Richter and Alucard are overwhelmed. Just when all seems lost, Annette, still partially possessed by Sekhmet's spirit, emerges. She steps forward and takes Drolta's hand, knowing it demands a life-altering sacrifice. In a heartbreaking act of bravery, Annette gives her life to save the world. Richter, overcome with grief, holds her bloodied body, believing the end has come. Yet his love and unwavering words of encouragement reach Annette, pulling her back from the darkness. Against all odds, she returns to her body, but the threat isn't over. Drolta is still at large. Embracing his Belmont heritage, Richter channels newfound power. He grabs Drolta's hands and, with sheer determination, vanquishes her. With Drolta gone and the eternal eclipse broken, Richter turns to Orlox, vowing to kill him one day, but not today. As the ashes of battle settle, Maria remains in Paris, bitter and consumed by anger. Meanwhile, Annette, Richter, and Edouard sail toward Saint-Domingue for a fresh start. Elsewhere, Orlox turns Mizrak into a vampire to cheat death, leaving their fate uncertain. Shadows grow in Paris as Maria's mother watches from afar, her figure cloaked in darkness.